Can a person earning $40,000 a year successfully retire in the United States? I would have said no. I would have said no. I got this question from a viewer, and thank you for sending me that question. And they asked if I could project out retirement for someone earning $40,000 a year. Initially, I set the question aside. I was like, there's no way I can set up a retirement for someone earning $40,000 a year. But then I thought maybe I should look into this challenge. Maybe I should take on this challenge. So, what would retirement look like for someone earning $40,000 in income a year in America look like? Stay with me. So, if you live in America or anywhere else in the world for that matter, you understand that we have been through a recent round of inflation, a recent round of very sharp inflation. So, during COVID, Donald Trump, who was our then president, basically printed money and gave it away for 2.5 years. The net effect of it, unfortunately, was inflation. And President Biden dealt with inflation, and Jerome Powell, who's chair of our federal board, were very, I think, masterful and very thoughtful in how they dealt with inflation and managed to create a soft landing where they didn't put the economy into recession and they were able to bring down inflationary numbers. But if you look at the overall economy, we've seen since 2019 inflation of about 25% to 2025. And a lot of Americans were very set back by that much inflation. I think anyone would be set back by that much inflation. And I think a lot of Americans don't inherently understand inflation. They assume that when inflation is coming down, it means prices are going to get cheaper again. No, that's not how inflation works. When prices go up, when the prices of consumer goods, houses, services go up, they do not come back down at the end of an inflationary cycle. They basically just stop going up as fast as they've been going up in the past. So I think a lot of Americans were very disappointed when inflation slowed down and prices did not become cheaper. But I'm here to tell you prices are never going to become cheaper again. And what we're left with is this disconnect between the average American salary and the cost of living now. And the average American earns about $60,000 a year. Pretty much nowhere in the United States is $60,000 a year sufficient for food, clothing, housing, education, transportation, all of the regularities of a middle class American life. In most places in the United States, if you're earning $60,000 a year, something's got to give. Something's got to give. You won't be able to pay your debts, or you won't be able to afford a one-bedroom apartment, or you may not be able to afford transportation, or you can't afford healthcare. There's something important in that equation that will not be covered. So when I got the request to do $40,000 a year as income, I was like, there's no way this is going to work. There's just no way that $40,000 a year you can adequately cover all of your expenses and save for retirement. Stay with me, and I might have just proven myself wrong, but there's a lot of caveats with this. Okay. So $40,000 a year, this person is probably earning about $20 an hour, which prior to 2018, 2019 would have been an okay salary. But now their minimum wage for fast food workers here in California, parts of California, is like $20 an hour. So this person is probably working a minimum wage job full time to earn $40,000 a year. Let's say that they are starting off at zero with no retirement savings. They are going to commit to saving 20% of their paycheck at $8,000 a year to retirement. I think that would be hard with someone on this income. I think it would be hard, but we're just going to go with it and say this person is a super saver and lives a very lean lifestyle and can come up with $8,000 a year to put towards the goal of retirement. They don't have a match at their company, so the match is zero. They're going to get the average Social Security in the United States, which is $1,974, and they're going to need $60,000 a year in retirement. Why do they need more in retirement than they need while they are working? Well, inflation. I give them 3% inflation, and we're going to take it from there. Now, most Americans, or one thing I've said about millennials and Gen Z, is a lot of them got information on retirement planning and investing from social media. In Gen Xers and baby boomers, basically, you had to be connected with they used to call them brokers, but it's really a financial advisor in order to get financial advice. And most people couldn't invest on their own before the age of the internet. But millennials and Gen Zers and now Gen Alpha have the option to start saving and investing much sooner. And the good news is that I'm seeing people saving and investing much sooner than I've seen in prior generations. But let's say if this person is earning $40,000 a year, they're in their mid 40s and they haven't saved anything for retirement. That is not that unusual of a situation here in the United States. If this person was my client, the first thing I would tell this person is your full time job is your full time job, the job that's paying you the $40,000 a year. Your second full time job is finding you a job that will pay you much more than $40,000 a year. Now, it may be that this person needs to pursue advanced education or training. Maybe they need to get a high school GED or they need to get some kind of certificate or something to get them into a better job that can pay them better money. But essentially, I would tell them it is your goal, it is your mission outside of working your 9 to 5 job to find a job that will pay you more money because you need more money than this, or you will need more money than this in short order to be able to survive in the United States. You can't continue making $40,000 a year over the next 20 years and survive. So, first things first, I went with a 60-40, a more conservative portfolio return here. And we're starting off with a zero balance. So these portfolio returns map back to 2003. So this is 2003, 4, 5, 6, this is 2008. And I went with a more conservative profile because this person is starting off at 45 and is probably just getting their feet wet with returns in the market. And they're going to do $8,000 a year. And this is what their IRA returns. And I was pleasantly surprised. So the first year they put in $8,000 with a 17% return. At the end of the year, they have about $9,300. Next year they put in 8,000 with a 7% return. They have close to 18,000, so on and so forth. So it takes them close to 10 years to be able to meet the first mark of $100,000 to clear that hurdle. That's a big accomplishment for a lot of people. A lot of Americans never make it to $100,000, but here it takes this person 9 or 10 years to get to $100,000. So that by that time, this person is already 54. So they're already pretty long in their career. So to reach the next milestone of $500,000, they do that at age 68. So that's another, 14 years into the future. And by time they are age 70 and retiring right here, they have about $617,000 for retirement. Now, in today's dollars, that is a significant amount of money. You have to think about $617,000 25 years into the future. And every 25 years, the value of the dollar cuts in half, maybe sooner than that if we go into another inflationary cycle. So this 600,000 in today's dollars, actually more like 300,000 in today's dollar. Still on par with what most Americans have saved for retirement. So we can do something with this. So at this point, this person starts taking their Social Security, right? And remember, they're getting $1,974 every month. I'm only inflating it by 3% because I don't know what the cost of living adjustment will be with Social Security at that point. But basically, they will have a base salary starting at age 70 of $23,688 from Social Security. They're also going to draw from their IRA account or their 401k account to bring them to 60,000. And this is what the numbers look like. So first year, they'll need to take out 36,000. Second year, unfortunately, maps to 2008. They'll need to take out 37,000, then 38,000, et cetera, et cetera. This person, believes it or not, if they live until age 90, may end up with more money than when they started retirement. Now, do I believe this person will have 2.1 million at age 90? No. This is also the person's emergency fund. So, if they need a new car, if they need dental work, or they have an unexpected bill, it has to come out of this account. It's also this person is starting at 45 and ending at 90. So that's almost 50 years of inflation. So this 2 million will have the purchasing power of about 500,000 now, which isn't bad, but it's not the equivalent of $2 million in today's money. Is it doable? Yes. Is it advisable? No. Reason being, couple of things. First things first, this $8,000 a year isn't the way most Americans save for retirement. It's going to be very rare where you're going to have a job between the ages of 45 and 70 and never have a break in work, right? Most people change jobs multiple times. Most people move up. Most people take on new roles and new responsibilities. So their salaries are changing. Some people have really, really tough years. So they're not able to save for 2 years and then get back at it. It's very sporadic and very helter skelter how most Americans save for retirement. So there may be a contribution here, here, and here, but here, 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 and here, there's no contributions for the year. And so what you end up with, of course, when you miss years of contributing for retirement, you end up with a diminished amount when the person retires. It's great. It's ideal if the person could save straight through, but that's not often how it happens. Like I said, my conversation with this person earning $40,000 a year is your first job is a 9 to 5. Second job is getting a better job so you can earn more money. $40,000 in short order, 25 years from now, at age 70 is going to be wholly insufficient. It's going to be the equivalent of $20,000 a year right now and have $20,000 a year purchasing power, which is going to be below poverty wages if you stay in the same place forevermore. But most people don't stay in the same place forevermore. Americans tend to have very itchy feet when it comes to jobs, and we change jobs every few years. So there you have it. Can you save for retirement on a very low income? Yes, it's possible. But I think for the vast majority of Americans, it's just not probable. If you're earning $40,000 a year, especially if you have any debts or if you have any significant bills, you're barely hanging in there. You're not going to be able to carve out $8,000 a year to be able to put towards the goal of retirement. And the best thing that you can do at this point is survive and try to find a better job or up your skills or education level so that you can find a better job that can pay you a lot more so that you can earn a lot more money and begin putting money away for retirement. Also, one thing I wanted to point out in this scenario, it assumes that the person can work until age 70. A lot of jobs that are paying $40,000 a year or less than average are very demanding jobs. They're very physically or mentally demanding jobs that it just may not be possible to work that job into age 70. Usually, when I see people in a position like this where they're earning this, it's usually a very transitory situation. Maybe they went through a divorce, maybe they went through an illness, they're just getting back in. They moved out of the country for 20 years and they're just getting back to the country and they just needed something to get started. It's the position that they have is neither here nor there. They're just doing this for a temporary job until they can build up their skills, build up their network to get into a better position. So there you have it. Tell me what you think of a retirement on $40,000 a year. Tell me what you like and tell me what you don't like. And if you found this information useful, please like, share, and subscribe.